This plan has a media room right off of the game room and then very tall ceilings when you first walk in the front door and in the living room. Stick around for this one. Hey everyone, Raj Sahu here, realtor in Central Texas, back with another model home walkthrough. Today we're going through the Carter 3 plan with WestinHomes. This plan is over 3,700 square feet. It's a 5-bedroom, 4.5 bathroom. There are structural upgrades that we'll talk about that are on the second story of this home. And as always, we're going to go right out to the main living area to show why I think people buy plans like this from WestinHomes. And it does start with that spiral staircase and that grand entrance that we'll certainly come back to. As you can tell, they have this wide open kitchen. I like some of the design upgrades they did, like the waterfall island in there. But it's all about the living room. I find so many people who walk through this plan and they get blown away by these tall ceilings, the huge windows on that back wall, and it just really opens up this space for a ton of design to go in there. You see some very tall curtains, pictures everywhere, and then coming back to the first point, that spiral staircase when you first walk in. When all of this hits you at once, the circular design, room for some of these model home upgrades, but you can certainly do these things in your home, like that amazing light fixture. When all that hits you at once, this is what I think makes Westin stand out and why I love featuring them on the channel. Now we will get back to those areas and show them in detail, but I want to get back to the front of the home, which is where we're at, where when you first walk in the front door, on the right side, you have this amazing study. It has very tall ceilings. They even have a tray ceiling up there, which I don't know if that's even necessary when the ceilings are that high, but I like this design element where they put some like a wood finish on the back wall. There's a company called Stickwood, STIK Wood, that I always recommend to people that you can do that aftermarket. It's a very inexpensive peel and stick, but I love that study. Space feels so much bigger because of the tall ceilings. I didn't even show it when you first walk in the front door. We have open to the second story here as well, and I think some of the light fixtures that they chose in this home are fantastic. It really draws your attention when you're in here, when you first walk in the living room, in that stairwell ceiling design, and even here in the dining room where I think the ceiling, different color, and the light fixture again really draws your attention. And then while we're here in the dining room, this is a massive room. If you're somebody who likes to sit down for dinner, or likes having friends, family over, if you can count the amount of seats, this is a 10-seater table. I think there's still a pretty good amount of room on the side. And then while we're here, keep in mind, this is a model home. So a lot of the designer wall that you see there on the designer wall in the dining room, designer wall in the study, these are things that are only done for the model home. So the builder may not even offer these things, but even if they did, a lot of times you want to do it aftermarket. This circular design that you see in the ceiling, again, in this stairwell, which I think is fantastic. That is actually something that I do see done in a lot of their inventory homes. So they have that amazing circular design. Of course, double check what I just stated before you buy. That can vary from community to community, but the communities that I'm aware of, they've been doing that in almost every single one of their inventory homes when they offer this plan. I think that that is fantastic, especially when you catch it from different angles, like the living room and when you first walk in. We'll get those different angles so you can take a look at all of it. Let's start in this kitchen then. We have this vent hood and the backsplash going all the way up to the ceiling. And this is a good example of if you go with the busier backsplash, then you don't want a countertop on the island to compete with that. So that's why they kept that countertop kind of just like that straight, solid white color, and then let the backsplash do the talking. But they obviously did the two-tone cabinets where you have the black cabinets on the island that kind of match up with that backsplash. And so there's some things that kind of coordinate here but don't compete with each other. And every time I talk to designers, they always talk about not having things compete with each other. And I think that's really good advice, simply because when you go to a design studio, what I find is a lot of people find an amazing backsplash and they find an amazing countertop, but it's hard to imagine them together in a kitchen, especially when you're looking at a very small sample that they have in the design studios. So always good advice that I get from designers, and I tend to just pass on this advice when I'm at the design studio and I don't hear it being said. So always, lean on a designer or a realtor who knows what they're doing. And this is the main living area, and this is what I think can sometimes throw people off is when you do the fireplace, which I actually have seen a lot in some of their inventory homes around Austin, is the TV gets thrown off. Do you put the TV on the left side if you took out those floating shelves, or do you put the TV above the fireplace? And this is the debate that I have with buyers when they walk a plan like this, is they're not really sure what to do. And then keep in mind, like the floating shelves, cabinets, don't really usually see that. Definitely not floating shelves. That's something you would want to do aftermarket. Going back to the debate, this is something I would consider because, as we always say, in the living room, kitchen, this is probably a space you're going to be spending the majority of the time when you're in your house. And so I would definitely try to figure this out when you're in this living room, is how do you see this space and does it meet your needs? Now we keep looking through these windows because I think they are amazing and I love that living room. There is a big back wall in the backyard that we'll get into, get to in a second. Not the best lot per se if you're trying to get a view off the backyard, but I'll cover that here in a second. Before we get outside, this is the breakfast nook area. A little bit tight in here because, again, you're going to be probably eating in that big dining room. But I do think this table is also a little bit bigger than what would probably make sense for that area. Because once you pull out one of those chairs, it might get in the way of this door to go out to your patio. So it might make sense to put a smaller table there. There's probably a workaround for that, and maybe not the best staging for that particular part of this plan. I like this patio space that kind of juts out where you have a 6-seater table on it. They decided to do some tile on this patio. Not many builders offer that, but again, you'll find me repeating that's something you can do aftermarket. And then you have that huge wall in this lot for the model home. And keep in mind that wall is there because we have amazing topography in this community called Sweetwater. Sweetwater is a community in West Austin. It's right on the line of different suburbs like Lakeway and Bee Cave, and it's close to Dripping Springs. All of those suburbs, along with West Austin, have amazing hills, beautiful country out here. And Sweetwater specifically has a new phase going in at the back of the neighborhood where there are some rolling hills, and I'm really excited to get a site map of kind of what's going on there. And Westin will be building back there. In fact, they have another model home that's being built out there as we speak in the back of the neighborhood. So really excited to see what they have in store for the rest of this neighborhood. Let's head to the owner's suite and see what's going on here. As soon as we head in, the first thing I notice is the bay window with the 4 windows along that wall. I love this tray ceiling where I actually have a homeowner right now putting in lighting around that ceiling. He has a double tray ceiling, actually a different plan, but very similar design. And then he's talking about maybe painting, just like they did there. They did like a wooden design on the ceiling. He's talking about painting it just so your eyes get drawn upward. Just a cool design to kind of have in here. And then I know you're seeing that wall again every time you look out the back windows, but what's funny is they actually have this plan about maybe 8-9 minutes drive away from this community for sale as an inventory home, and it has a beautiful view off the backyard. So there are some amazing lots that can really take advantage of having that many windows on the back wall. Just a matter of finding that lot, of course. Heading over to the owner's bathroom, I like the flow of this space where the vanities are separated with that freestanding tub and owner's shower in the middle. What's throwing me off is that tile all along that wall. It's kind of like a backsplash tile, and obviously I think it looks great. It would just be very expensive to do that, and probably not necessary unless you're really into design, because that could cost you thousands of dollars to do. But I think that freestanding tub is great. It's a good element to have, I think, in your owner's bathroom. Although that also can come with a price tag. It does depend on the builder and their upgrade costs. And then I like when you get into this walk-in shower, you still have that very large pocket window between you and the rest of the bathroom. So you're still getting a lot of the natural light from that huge window on the right wall. You even see a window all the way through to that closet that we'll get to in a second. And there are 2 closets. So there was another closet that had a window that faced out to the back wall, and then you have this closet which is connected into the laundry room and is technically actually under your stairwell. So that's why you get a little bit more space That's going to be under your stairwell right there. Probably do away with the floating shelves, maybe keep some luggage there, as I always say. And I like how they have some sconces in here. It adds some lighting into the space when your closet's like an interesting shape. And then this is what I was mentioning with the laundry room. So we'll kind of come back to that area, not through the owner's closet, so it's less confusing. But we'll get back to that laundry room. But always nice to have that close by, so you don't have to lug your laundry all around the house. And then again, we do have that other owner's closet on the opposite side of the vanity. And on the side of the vanity, you see another door that's just a linen closet. Usually when I'm not opening up a door, it's just some sort of linen closet, whether in the bathroom or like a hallway closet or something like that. I like how they fit in the windows. So keep in mind that window faces out to the back of your home. Usually if they don't have it frosted, there's something that you can do aftermarket to give you some privacy if you're worried about that in your owner's closet. Sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't in a model home, because obviously nobody's living here. But lots of things, again, you can do aftermarket there if you're worried about it. Let's head over to the other bedroom and full bathroom that's on this first story. So we have 2 bedrooms down, 3 bedrooms up, and still the game room, media room, and that second story, again, I think is fantastic. So definitely stick around for that. While we're heading over there, I do want to mention Westin pretty much went to all inventory homes in almost all their communities in Austin. Actually, I think every single one of them. And I have asked many times, are they planning on going back to building from scratch and picking your plan and then all your upgrades? I just haven't heard yes to that yet, and that's tough. Right now, I think if you are building from scratch, you can pick all your options. And by the way, this is the powder bathroom, so there are 4.5 bathrooms, 2.5 down. And so I like that they do have this powder bathroom separate from the other bathroom that your guests would use if you have somebody staying with you on the first story. So I think it's well thought out. And then this is the laundry room again that we had access to the owner's closet, and that's that door ahead of us. And while we head into the spare bedroom downstairs, what I was mentioning about designing from scratch is if you have the time to wait out on moving into your brand new home, then I think it's fantastic to pick a lot of your options, pick your upgrades, and really make this home yours. If you're somebody who has to move here much faster, then I think this could be a great option, because there's never been a time where builders have so many inventory homes, and Westin would be one of those builders that went to all inventory homes. And so if you are somebody who is looking to move, like let's say end of 2022, I would definitely consider this as an option, because I don't think in 2023 you're going to see too many builders that have lots and lots of inventory homes already under construction, unless that's their business plan. So there are high volume builders, usually build below the median home price in Austin or various areas. They do a lot of inventory homes, but I would say for a little bit more of like a premium design, more open concept home, you're probably not going to see too many inventory homes like that being built in 2023. Focusing back on the plan, I like this walk-in shower. As you can tell, fantastic for somebody who you could have staying with you on the first floor. I always mention parents staying with people, because I find a lot of people who reach out to me, they're very concerned about having their parents, where they're going to stay when they visit. And I think this checks a lot of boxes that they have, where if you're looking for that walk-in shower, you're looking for, a bigger bathroom that doesn't need to be shared with guests when they're visiting. That's always tough to do because you have this separate powder bath. These are things that I find people forget to factor in when they're looking at homes. And I think this is something that you should weigh in if that's important to you, especially if you're looking at about this square footage and this many bedrooms. So I think that's it for the first story. Let's head to the second story here. And while we're heading up this spiral staircase, let's talk about it. I think so many people ask me about the spiral staircase. And what's funny is I think Westin's done it so well. There's a competing builder in Austin that started offering this spiral staircase as an option. They don't feature it in some of their model homes, but they do have it as an option, and now you can build from scratch. I think they did that because this looks so well, and then I think this is so open. So that's a look at the front door. You have the game room area that the ping pong table is in, and then take a look at this. I know we saw it at the beginning of the video, but I love seeing it again. especially because, you know, you're seeing it through my video. You can't get all the peripherals, but when you get all those lights, you get the circular design that's above us, you get all those windows in the living room, and then you're open to the second story at the front door. Just everything about this makes it feel like a premium home, where there was a time when people were bidding on these inventory homes, which was incredibly annoying to deal with, because it was just a very tough market to get in. And people at that time would ask me, why are people bidding on these homes? And the answer was, you could get this type of home for a fraction of the cost of what homes cost in other areas of the United States. And that's why so many people were moving here, and thankfully that's calmed down temporarily, and now we've seen a good increase in supply of inventory. Now, again, we'll see how long that lasts, because as I stated, builders are really not building the amount of inventory homes that they were building probably earlier this year. And then this is the media room. I would say, you know, we'll get to those couches. I'm going to take a seat on the front row, because I think it's a little bit tight once you get to the front row. I think you might only be able to fit like one couch in this media room. I like the wet bar that they have here. Didn't really see that too much in any of their inventory homes. But again, if we can get back to build from scratch, they usually offer that as an option. I kind of sat down at this chair just because I think this makes sense to kind of be this far away from the TV, or if you do maybe like a projector on that back wall. But sitting here, I'm not sure if that would make sense. It seemed a bit tight, and so, you know, I want to call it out, because I'd hate to have somebody see two couches here on a video and think that you could do that aftermarket without sitting down, right? We have to sit down and know how far away are we going to be from the TV. And then keep in mind that media room is a structural upgrade that does actually add square footage to the plan, so that's not in the base currently. And then this is the other structural upgrade, where you can add a 5th bedroom and another full bathroom upstairs. So as a base, you know, this plan is usually right around 3,500 square feet, and it's a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bathroom. But again, they added the media room, they did the 5th bedroom and the 4th bathroom, 4th full bathroom. Of course, there's actually 4.5 bathrooms then. But this is something where if you're building from scratch, it's really nice to pick your options, because you may not value that 5th bedroom. But if this is something that you do value, keep in mind this would be the bathroom that's kind of off of the game room. So that's why they have a separate entrance from the game room. And then they even have a private entrance from the bedroom, which I think is great to have. That way you can kind of access it from both areas. And I usually don't see that in an inventory home, where they have that big hex tile going all the way up to the ceiling. I think I mentioned this quite often. If you're trying to save in design, you know, that would probably be a good place to save, because your bath curtain is going to be closed most of the time when you're living there. And keep in mind that the cabinet desk area in the hallway, that's definitely an upgrade as well. I don't remember seeing that in too many of their inventory homes, but I shouldn't be quoting inventory homes too much. It obviously varies over time, and then it definitely varies from community to community. So I would always double check these things with a great realtor who knows what they're doing, who's walked a lot of new construction, and ask them, you know, do you think this is an adequate amount of upgrades? Do you think they're underdoing it? Do you think they're overdoing it just to price the home very, very high? Do you think they're overvaluing the upgrades that are actually in here based on the costs that you're seeing around the area? So these are all great questions to ask before you're about to buy. And while we go through these last 2 bedrooms that has a Jack and Jill full bathroom in between them, I do want to mention hiring a great realtor is a very important part of this process, because if you're going at this just looking at the builders, every builder's obviously going to pitch that they're the best, because every time you walk into a model home, that person representing the builder, of course, wants to sell the builders. So when you hire a buyer's agent, they can go with you to some of these tours, they can guide you through all the different options that are out there and really help you identify what's the best option for you. And so with that in mind, my information's in the description of this video. I tend to do a lot of new construction, and if your criteria doesn't fit what I cater to, which it tends to be a little bit more new construction, still reach out to me. I can always set you up with a realtor partner that I know does a fantastic job for the criteria that you have, and I'm always happy to be upfront with you and make that connection if it's needed. Now, we of course went from 1 bedroom through the Jack and Jill full bathroom out to the last bedroom here, so it's the 5th bedroom. I like the functionality of Jack and Jill full bathrooms. I find when I speak to homeowners who have them, they tell me it's very functional, especially in the morning when everybody's rushing to get ready. And so really nice to see that in this plan. Currently, they do have that included in the base price, meaning there's not an upgrade. But again, double check everything that I've stated. It does vary from community to community, and of course it varies over time. Builders are changing things, and I'm always constantly trying to keep up with those various changes. Now, if you liked Westin and want to see another model home walkthrough that has a 2-story owner's closet, click on the thumbnail that's appeared on your screen. And then if you've watched this video so far, like the video, subscribe to the channel for more model home walkthroughs. And again, reach out to me. My info is in the description if you need help with real estate. Take care.